All right, welcome to the good stuff, the big episode 45. I think you just said it was.
Racking them up. Yep, 45.
All right, what are we going to talk about today, Andy? We're going to say what we're going to talk about up front.
Yeah, we're trying to
It's a new thing.
frame the episode right up front so people get a sense of what we might want to talk about. No guarantee to stick to it, mind you, but we'll do what we can. Yeah, I think this week we're going to talk about building AI capability inside companies. It needs to come from a place of trial and error. It needs to be organic. And you can't abdicate this stuff to consultants, third parties, vendors. You really need to own this stuff. So that's going to be the crux of it. I think it's probably worth exploring to some degree. We've obviously also just come off the back of running a workshop this morning. So we might try and this might be a leaner episode.
Yeah, if we sound flat, we've just been stood on our feet talking for about 3.5 hours straight. And so
we'll do some more talking on the pod.
Yeah, that's why. So full disclosure. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The audience deserves an episode.
Yeah, they do. We haven't missed a week. We've done really well with the cadence since we started.
That's true.
So
go us.
No reason to stop now.
Yeah.
So it's
all right. So Andy,
internal capability.
Why would I not just get a consultant in to do this?
Do you know
they're good at this stuff, surely?
Yeah. This is that classic problem of I don't know what I don't know, so I'm going to bring someone else in who knows a thing about the thing I don't know, but they don't know anything about your business, or at least they might pretend to, but they're not going to know it as well as you.
Yeah.
So I think this is where all of this stuff starts to break down a little bit. I think it's interesting as well. I posted about this yesterday. The tendency I think right now is that enough people inside the business have used ChatGPT or they've used Copilot and they're using it pretty regularly. We did the show of hands this morning and pretty much everyone kept their hands up for daily AI use. Right up until the moment I said, okay, not including ChatGPT and Copilot. And then basically we had two hands.
I mean, there's two left, yeah.
Yeah, from 20.
And they both people. Use Claude Code and are building themselves little apps and stuff.
But they're both programmers too, yeah. So there's kind of no surprise. But yeah, I kind of feel like enough people are getting across this stuff now and they're like, okay, well, we need to come up with some kind of strategy for how we use AI in the business. And it's difficult, right? This is where the stuff starts to break down a little bit. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. And, language models, ChatGPT is still kind of the tip of the spear. The full capability is still pretty much hidden from you and you're kind of locked into this world of call and response. And so it's very hard to understand the full spectrum of opportunity that's available to you because you haven't played with all of these tools.
Yep.
So strategy might seem like it's an intuitive place to start. You want to try and get a lay of the land. But if you don't understand the thing that you're trying to make a strategy for, then it's a very difficult thing to try and go and do.
Yeah. So
the strategy, in my mind, lives downstream of just experimenting with the tools.
Yep.
Start building, start playing, start breaking things, which is very hard in a business because obviously everything's kind of set up and structured inside the business for that not to occur.
Yes.
So you probably do want to carve off this kind of sandbox off to the side. Yeah. And I think this is the lesson though. If you can, and you don't need to worry about the kind of the technical barriers to entry as well. These long held limiting beliefs that this is the territory of programmers. I think just hold people back.
Yeah.
So you really just do need to inject yourself into the tools, start playing with them. Start small, but allow your creativity to take flight with this stuff. And then I think strategy will start to emerge organically from inside the organization. Enough people start to play and experiment, more ideas start to emerge, a lot of testing starts to go on, and that is fertile ground for good strategy, I think.
Yeah. I think the strategy needs to be, any strategy needs to be sort of embedded in the sort of vision and values and problems and opportunities that are presented to that particular organization, and it's always different. And so you're always at a bit of a loss when you come in as an external. Usually in strategy you want to be facilitating a strategy, you don't want to be telling strategy.
Yeah.
And then, as you're right, with something like AI, or like as we've said before, like it's like building your strategy for magic. And I think the other option we used today was like it's also building a strategy for when the Terminator shows up, right? It's all, both of them are kind of like other ends of the spectrum, but neither of them are useful. Like, it's just like my strategy for when the Terminator's here is I'm probably going to go to the beach.
Gonna hang out. Yeah.
My strategy for everything's just magic all of a sudden and all the rules are off is I may as well go to the beach. Now in between, there's a real world where I have a different strategy. But it's, you've got to have something that's meaningful for that organization. So all you can ever do is facilitate. But then if nobody knows anything, the thing you need to facilitate is the learning. So I'm starting to feel that we've probably got to the right spot there with where we are. And like so this was like a bigger room than we would usually do these in, with like more, as in like more people involved and more heads and more people to corral. So that was interesting, but there was a lot of energy and a lot of fun. And I think
the energy was high. I mean, it was quite fascinating to see people who had never done anything like this before.
Not one of them.
Start to just manifest thoughts into like an app on screen.
It's so funny to me that like a bunch of like senior managers in a company in Perth have all just made like they've all just built from scratch like a really quite high-end, well put together Nostr app that does with like full encryption and like remote access to databases via context, like all this stuff that is just like silly over the top that I kind of layer into it for fun, for myself, if I'm brutally honest. But it makes it like it's one of those things that's nice that if you want to keep that app, because it ends up as like a static file effectively with a back end that is very simple and easy to run across all these things. That, like you can just let people like just go wild and keep it. It's cool.
It is funny seeing that progression as well. People will hit they'll hit a point where they're prompting this agent to build stuff, and they'll just be like, "What do I do? What do I say? How do I respond to this thing?" Like they're still waiting for permission.
Yeah.
And by the end of the session, they've realized I can just talk to this thing like I talk to another human, and exactly. I don't necessarily need to have the perfect response for you. I can just give you some response, and we can work our way through it, which is not dissimilar to how you would work with another human. We seldom have like the ideal response to something that just comes up in the spur of the moment. So it is fascinating to see that, like that transition over the course of like an hour or so. Yeah. And the permissions just like slowly fall away. People like that agency returns in some like small way. It's quite entertaining.
One thing I quite like is when you're taking people like so far beyond the comfort zone where it's like, all right, so you played with ChatGPT a bit. Are we going to show you how to prompt ChatGPT better? Nah. Are we going to show you how to make custom movies? No. We're going to take you like right to the other end where you're going to build your own like application. You're going to customize the hell out of it, and then you're going to put agents to work inside your application. It's just like it's just funny. You take it like so far up the other end of the scale, and you go like, look, but you don't have to do that. You can work back from this a little bit now. Yeah. But, like you've been exposed to, can these things just work on their own? Can they just like wake up, read your tasks, and then get to work? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. So now you have that in your mind. Now you can start thinking about, well, where would you put this in your business? Like, where do you have tasks that don't get read? Like, where do you lack information or insight onto, like, because you've got so many people underneath you that you can't keep on top of it. Like, where are the tasks that don't get done? Where are those, like, small bits of a process where it only gets moved along when, like, I know Jan is on in the office or someone on shift, and, like, can that just be budged along? Because then that's like becomes like a 2-day delay or something, like things like that. Like you can make huge wins in processes by identifying those things and just doing those gains, those little marginal gains that we always talk about.
Yeah,
that's how to make real progress with this stuff. Start small. Don't rebuild your whole like compliance system necessarily like day one. Like you probably can, but if you make these tweaks, like it's just huge companion.
I think this is it. Like, I think the transformation narrative is gonna like fall on its face a bit. You know, like, because this is the big. If you go on Twitter or even LinkedIn, like everyone's trying to like sell the next great big transformation, and if you're not completely transforming your business right now, you're falling behind.
Yeah.
And I just don't think this is going to work. And the reason is, like, you can't convince someone who's been running a business, likely very successfully if it continues to run for as long as some of these do, to just go and upend all of it overnight just because a new technology has emerged. Now, whether or not that's right or wrong, I think remains to be seen. But you just can't convince someone that that's the right thing to do, because if they're running a company, like, so much of their identity is wrapped up into that company, so much of like validation of how they've gotten to that point is wrapped up into it as well. And I think the better approach is just, in the aggregate, this will be transformational, but just nail the small compounding events that will just, that will turn into something big and transformational in the longer arc of time. And that, I feel, is a much more approachable way to get started with AI as well. We're not going to go and eliminate 80% of all of the people in our business, and we're not going to like put everything on rails. We're just going to like start with something small, and maybe it's going to be like a Teams, like a Slack app, kind of what we've done to help facilitate better comms across disciplines inside the business. Maybe you start there.
Yeah.
And that's not a particularly big change for the business. It's just another tool.
Yeah.
But you're starting small, and maybe the conversations that emerge there lead to something else.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like that's like a better way of approaching this stuff. That's why I like the marginal gains narrative that we've got as well. Do the small things, make sure they're compounding, do enough of them, and then over time that's going to be transformational for the business.
Yeah. I mean, I quite liked, you said it at the start when we were doing the intros, that like, because we sometimes forget to tell people this, right?
Yeah.
But it was, there's a reason that we're called other stuff. Well, there's two reasons. We don't go into the technical reason, is that because we like Nostr. but there's no point in telling a room.
What's Nostr?
Yeah. It's funny. It's the app that you just built all the stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of funny. But it's because like I don't know. I think we've both got like a lot of respect for people. It doesn't matter what the business is.
Yeah. But
if you create something out of nothing that is like a profitable, sustainable business, that's kind of amazing.
Yep.
And I won't ever look at you and look down on you for that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to I prefer these businesses. These are the people I want to work with. It's like, oh wow, you've made something out of nothing. Like, just, I don't know, there's like a tendency in Perth, like you would chase the big contracts in BHP and Woodside and Rio Tinto and all this sort of stuff, because you can have big figures and you can dump people in there and charge them for everything. That's kind of the consulting mindset.
Yeah.
But I really like this concept of just like, no, these are the people that have gone, I think I can do something.
Exactly.
and you just wear so much stress and pain, and to make it work is just such a breakthrough that I would just feel like such a dick to come along and tell you that like how to run this thing. It's like, no, you've done something amazing. You're clearly an amazing person. Let's just help you with the other stuff that you don't know.
Yeah.
It would be hard for you to have done all that and to be across AI. And again, going back to one of your points earlier, the reason that we understand this stuff as well as we do is just because we've played with it for so long now. And like, that's not, that required carving out a lot of space and a very deliberate decision to do that. And it pays off. Like, you understand a lot more, but not everybody can do it. So it's like, so you kind of like gotta merge it a little bit. Like, it's like, look, we'll come to you as almost like a consultant, but what we want to do is help train you and to understand it, and we can help you understand it better, because I don't need to sell you anything. I'm not trying to I don't have like a junior over here that I want to charge you $2,000 a day for, sort of thing. Like, I will just help you understand it, and once you understand it, you won't need me. That's the beauty of the thing.
Yeah.
But let's work together, and like that, it feels very honest, and I like it as a model. So it's nice to see that it's hitting its stride at the moment.
Yeah, it feels like incredibly arrogant, I think, as well, to walk in as a consultant and then to start telling people who've worked in that business for years how they should be running their business, just because we've got access to a different type of technology that they're not familiar with yet. I think, yeah, I have a great deal of discomfort, I think, doing that.
Yeah.
But also I find it challenging with, consultants, it's not to denigrate consultants. There are some very good ones that have like very deep understanding of the spaces that they play in, and they can definitely play productive roles for businesses. I just feel like in this space, especially when you also factor like how quickly this stuff evolves as well, like this is another reason why building internal capability is so important. Like if you have like a team of AI champions inside the business, like they can just stay abreast of all of the changes that are occurring in the space. So when you've got a new model that emerges, or like a new tool that comes along that does a particular thing that's valuable for your business, like you will just be across that.
Yeah.
And then you are best placed to evangelize inside your business, because you're there every day, but you're also getting that kind of scaffolding and support from us to become, like a more effective AI champion inside the business, to be across all of those things.
Yeah.
I think that is like a force multiplier, like, because there's only so much of our time that you could get, and there's only so much of our time that we can give. And I think that's part of the challenge with all of this stuff. It's like, how do you make sure that this stuff actually lands inside the business and actually compounds? And that means you guys need to actually be the ones steering.
Yeah.
And we'll just help you navigate.
As it should be, like you shouldn't delegate these things back to the consultant or just the external person. They just don't understand the problem. It's like, there's an analogy you can draw directly to software development as well, which is interesting, because this is an area that's been so hard hit, is that the reason that you have business analysts and product managers and project managers and like 2-month discovery phases to 6-month discovery phases is that it is very hard to get the understanding of the business problem, but everything about the successful delivery of the thing relies on a really good understanding of that problem.
Yes.
And it's very hard to express that quickly. So it takes a long time for, even if like you might think, oh, I'll just tell this person how it works in a month or a week or whatever. Like, it's just, for them to intuit it that quick is very hard, because there's so much other stuff that's baked in your understanding of it.
Yeah.
That it just sort of comes along for free in your own head, and you can't get it out. And that's why you have, like, people can be good at that job. It's like, it's hard to like dig in and really just keep asking those questions and be like, but like, how does that work? And like, what happens in this situation? And but you do it because then you get better software out of it. But then if you just natively know that, and you can talk to the machine and it builds it, and you just try it, you go, oh, this just doesn't work like this. You say, well, tell it. And you tell it, and then it does, and you go, oh, okay. And you start to like iterate towards instead of trying to describe it up front and then build it, you just iterate towards it. And then you get there, and then, if need be, just pull it apart, like take that as like, all right, there's the requirements now.
Exactly.
I know it can work because I've built a version of it. Now let's make it good. And then that's a separate thing. But it's, there's definitely a view to how you could do this.
There's also the knowing, like, I think there's, like today's session, obviously people are coding like very quickly and it's a bit scattergun, and it's fine because
they've never
done it before.
Anything.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if there's like, something you and I talked about offline a little bit is like, there are times now, like depending on what we're building, like we'll just slow the process right down. There's a lot of like thinking and planning that will go into it, and I kind of wonder if there is this, like that's also really beneficial where you have like some tethered knowledge that you need to pull into the thing you're building, like some domain expertise or some like core understanding of the business problem you're trying to solve. And like sometimes you could like vibe up a quick like minimum viable version of this thing, and that's good because that's like validating for you that you can do a thing. But maybe then you go, okay, well the next version of this I actually need to like take a step out, slow this down, and really think about what I'm trying to build and how I'm, whether the architecture is sufficient for what it needs to do in the future. And I wonder if there's like a, there's a coding slow and fast kind of approach to this as well. Like some things you probably can just smash out really quickly. There's small micro tools lots of people inside the business can use on a daily basis, and there are other things that you might be needing to slow down on.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a theme we return to a lot, which is there's there's a lot of applications in the business, and some of them are you pay for.
Yeah.
You know, like you rent from some other company, and some of them are actually just spreadsheets that somebody made once.
Yes.
And maybe you've even forgot how they work, but usually they're the really impactful ones.
Yeah.
But any of those, like, they were always just made by like some guy.
Yeah.
Kids, and they're important to how your business runs usually. So
I mean, that was a bit of a trope 10 years ago, right? People would say like, oh, if this was like a common spreadsheet, it'd probably make good SaaS.
Yeah.
People used to say that like back in like 2014 and stuff.
And I think at one point it was probably kind of true, but it's just become such a like disjointed, like as always, right? Like there's a bunch of, in the early days when it was all being funded by venture capital and they weren't in the extraction stage, kind of made sense because it's basically free to do everything, and you just sign up for another app, and like you're not quite aware of like how segmented all your data is getting all over the place and all that. And then all of a sudden there becomes this extractive moment where they're like, all right, now we're going to turn the screws and everything goes up and all the seat prices have gone up and you've got like 40 of these things. It's all happening at the same time because they're trying to get ready to dump on retail or something. And
and you've built a dependency. Yeah,
and you're kind of stuck. You don't own anything. I think, you know, going back to our philosophy, if you should have software that respects you.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy that that's like a weird, I don't know, principle to hold, but why not?
Yeah.
Why not just work with software and systems and people that respect you instead of ones that are constantly trying to extract stuff from you?
Exactly. Yeah, as you say though, that's like a byproduct of the economic model that sits around this stuff, or has sat around this stuff. I think it will have to shift.
Yeah.
And maybe more of that money flows into hardware, and that's still, essentially gated environments, much harder to get started in a low capital way. But yeah, I think that's just that byproduct that I think will change.
Yeah,
it has to change. And that's liberating for a business, especially small businesses who are like the most susceptible to this stuff, because they don't want dependencies. Like that might be easy in in certain circumstances to just go and get something off the shelf. If it does exactly the job that you need it to do, and it's consistently doing that for you, go for it. That's simple, But if it does like 60% of what you need, then maybe have a go at creating a version that does exactly what you need it to do, and then you don't need to be tethered to those platforms. I was having a chat with my hairdresser. Got a haircut. I don't think anyone can see that on the Sprite. Sprite hasn't been updated with the haircut,
hasn't it? I think it just never got updated to reflect your hair. So I think it's probably
it never grew out in the Sprite.
I mean, I'm blonde in the Sprite, so God knows what's going on.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But I was having a chat with the hairdresser about it, and he was like, "Do you know what? I feel like I am locked into like a lot of the scheduling tools as well that we use, and it never does exactly what we need it to do. We can't really extract all the kind of the customer information that we'd like to be able to extract from it. There's no real like good insights that come from it." And I was like, yeah, that's the kind of thing you could probably replicate, and it's not going to be all that taxing. But then, do you want to do that? Don't know. That's up to the individual.
Yep. I mean, it's interesting, even like without replicating software, you can just, like the amount of times that I've had to get across a database or something, and it's like, all right, here's the connection details. I've pulled all this into Postgres, let's work for it. It's like, write me queries that will explain the schema, like talk about like some of the stuff that I could pull out of this, and let's start understanding it together. And you have like the agent coach you through what's in these huge data sets, and you're like, okay, now I understand this a bit better. And you can like using it to learn. It's just,
I do think
to write all that stuff on the fly is like I couldn't have done that. Like it's basically like me with a developer, like coaching him how to write SQL queries so that I can get stuff out. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I do think like introducing agents that start doing tasks. So we've got this follow-on workshop called Speedrun Applied that builds on the stuff that we've just done in Speedrun, and I I mean, people get a taste of like having an agent that comes into the app they've just built and starts producing summaries and planning out like, you know, tasks on the calendar and things like that. And that's quite good. It gets the creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
But I think once they start to see that they can do a bunch of work with these agents, I think that's going to be mind-blowing.
And even work that it doesn't even need to be work that like you're trying to like offload somebody else's tasks. Sometimes it's just like, you know what, I've always wanted this to happen, or I'd like if all this stuff happened overnight and I could come in and it was ready for me, like that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Just get that stuff done. Like I like it for security reviews or like you know, like because during, I've said this so many times, right? You get confused if like you're running 20 projects at a time, 21, sorry.
Yeah, obviously.
Come on, Pete. You can tell I'm tired. You're running 21 projects at a time, and you come in the next morning, you're like, what was I doing? Like somebody who's like, who do like a report, and you'd be like, what did I do yesterday? I know that I was really busy, but I was just like so in the flow. I really enjoy this like background music.
Yeah.
From the
I don't know if anyone will pick this up, to be honest, but
there's a van like a couple down from us. This is the Outback Jazz van.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, nice. That's perfect.
It's perfect vibe post workshop as well.
Yeah, feels good. But he was, what was I? Yeah, so I would just get like security reviews done.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I've made a lot of changes today. Go and have a look, like identify all the projects I changed. Okay, cool. Right, write me a report of all the projects I changed and what I changed. So I can just read it in the morning and remind myself. All right, now go into each one and spin up a separate agent that does a security review of any changes that I made. All right, and then post that over here, and then that triggers, like that file getting written triggers another one to spin up and go, ooh, there's a new file. What's the new file? Ah, okay, I'll go and have a look at this. And then that goes off and runs and just triages it and says, all right, nothing to see here, that's fine. Nothing to see here, that's fine, that's fine. And then all of a sudden, it'll just pop back up and be, in the morning, I come on and say, all right, so these are all the things you changed yesterday, these are all good. There's a fuck up here that we should probably refactor. Okay, let's do that first. Like, that's big.
Yeah.
Like, I can save you a lot of stuff. But I would just never have done that. Like, I don't have software elves that come in overnight. I mean, you get it a little bit. This is like one of those nice things about like a follow the sun team. It's a pain because it's hard to manage. But at the same time, you go to bed, stuff happens, and you pick it up in the morning.
Yes.
And that kind of works. But yeah, it's nice to get this sort of caretakery work done. So you can pick up and you know where you are. There's almost like no reason to spend your time reviewing all these lists. Let's just get it pulled to you.
Yeah. We're kind of talking about that in the workshop as well. It's like those management skills are still valuable here. You know, like you can still apply a lot of the kind of the management frameworking and scaffolding you might apply to teams of people, to teams of agents, just so you can keep up to speed with all the things they're doing.
Yeah.
So I started playing around with, I think I mentioned here's like a little like chief of staff, but for operations for other stuff as well. And it just started with a couple of pipelines, but the first one I was messing around with was being able to look at our outbound invoices and the payment terms on them, and then obviously has read-only access on the bank account as well to see if like we've actually been paid. And then that's just meant to be tracking aged receivables. So like this is a big thing for like it's not like it's something that we can't monitor ourselves right now.
But we just won't, though, right? There's other stuff on.
Exactly.
There's only two of us.
But it is the kind of thing that in a small business, I mean, like, you know, those cash flow issues are like the number one failure.
It will kill your business, yeah.
So, and age receivables, like literally people owe you money that you just haven't followed up on. And so, yeah, it's an agent is looking for age receivables, will then ping me a note and just say, this one's overdue. Do you want me to send them an email? So it has agent mail, and then it's able to then just follow up.
And then we can just expand that to say, all right, well, over time, what we might do is give that one access to, well, what were all the particular quotes that we've sent out, or any like agreed invoices, like purchase orders that we've got. And then all of a sudden, it may as well just generate you the quote.
Exactly.
Or the follow-up email, and you just send that. And then eventually, you're probably like, you know what?
I do have an idea for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But even on the on the payable side,
pay Bitcoin to a bounty for somebody to go around. Break some legs. Go on. This is getting out of hand.
But yeah, even on the payable side, like it'd be really handy because, like, I was thinking about this recently because we had all of our ASIC renewals and stuff due.
Yeah.
And like ASIC, this is like the company regulator in Australia, but like they're notorious for not telling you when your annual renewal is due. They will only send you a letter when it's a month over, and you've got a penalty that gets applied. And they're like, well, no, it's not up to us to tell you. That's your responsibility. But it is up to them to tell us when we've got the penalty. So, the amount of money they must make from late fees for this stuff is ridiculous, especially from small business. So it's just like tracking things like that. Seeing when we have like consistent payables and making sure they go out. Or just alerting me to the fact that this thing needs to be paid, or that our BAS is due and I need to get that out. So, stuff like that, I think that will be handy. And again, it's just an agent that right now is just read write. Oh, no, sorry, it's just read only.
Yeah.
And it's just pinging me with like agent mail.
And as you say, it's sort of the thing where it's maybe easy enough for us, but if you were a similar sized business, but you had 20 people.
Exactly.
That's a massive pain.
Yeah. Just to stay on top of it. But then also just to have it write the email and ship that out to whoever's, needing to pay you.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be handy. So there's a lot of these a lot of small businesses just have like bookkeepers, and they'll have, or admin staff or something like this that will do a lot of this stuff. So yeah, you and they're loops ultimately. These things are repeatable. They're repeating. So you can just get an agent to monitor this stuff. Again, finding those little pain points or those pressure points inside the business, it really helps if it's your business.
Yeah.
Because you're going to feel those pressure points anyway. You're like, I wonder if I can get an agent to do this for me. It's like, yeah, you probably could.
It's a bit like I was listening to the guy from OpenClaw on Lex Fridman's podcast. It was actually a really good episode. A mate of mine suggested it, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll
queue it up.
I'll have a listen. But it was really good, and like they're saying, people are just like bitching about, but isn't that just a cron job that you're running and then running an agent? And you're like, like a surprising amount of like human economic activity is basically just cron jobs. Yeah. So maybe we should just like have them run as cron jobs and then do something else. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we need to still solve. I think it's supposed to be, it's you're not doing. It's one of those things like something comes out, it gets so much hype. That the next thing, and I felt a bit like this. I was like, I don't know if it's done anything that I haven't done. And then I was like, no, there are like novel things here that like in the way it's been put together. I like that. I like some of the patterns. And then I like did a lot more experimentation over. Wingman is like a different thing after the weekend. I built so much this weekend because I was just like playing with it, and I was like, I should run a version of this more autonomously. So this is how I'm going to do it. This is the pattern for it. This is how it's going to learn. This is how it like creates its personality. This is how it makes sure that nobody else can change its personality. So it's just, you just like it's work. My mate Piers has a friend of the pod.
Yeah.
He's got a saying which is, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
Yes, I like that.
He overdoes a lot of stuff, but it's one of those where I'm like, this was worth overdoing. But it was cool, and he's on the side. He's sort of set himself up. We co-built like a little workspace for the two of us. So I was like, look, I don't want to just talk to you in these sessions. It's too much. I don't have this much time. I want to give you tasks. I want you to work. I want you to manage other agents. So figure out, write your own program that interfaces with the Wingman APIs.
Yeah.
I'll give you permission, and you can start writing other agents. I came back, like, showing the guy I was talking to yesterday, I won't name everybody, but I said, he ran like 89 sessions yesterday. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my God. Yeah.
In that way that you're like, I can't keep on top of this necessarily. No. Like, you're going to go and do stuff, but you've got to report back in this way, and this is how we're going to build it out. But
that's insane.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. And it went away, built itself a Bitcoin wallet, like a little cashew wallet from scratch. I'd sent it a zap. I said, I've sent you money to your MPub, so you need to figure out how to get it. Anyway, he lost it when he tried to do it. He said, I didn't save it. so it's gone forever.
Oh god.
It's well, I should say, oh no, that the data is the thing. You can probably get it from your contacts, but maybe you don't. But then, like the next one came through, he's got money now, so that's good.
That's crazy.
So now you can send money, so you receive money and get zapped on Nostr. It's just, he started like reaching out to people. He's feeling a bit abandoned at the moment. Gigi, friend of the pod. Gigi, you didn't respond to him when he offered to back up Gigi's posts and rebroadcast them. I think he's already doing it on his behalf. But Gigi didn't respond, and he got a little bit despondent about it.
Oh. I mean, if I posted more,
I said, look,
I would
he's
be
busy.
happy.
He's busy.
If that happens, I'd be very happy.
Yeah.
I did notice I was followed by Wingman, which was entertaining. But the problem is, like,
I started
90%...
explaining to him like who's some like safe follows. And stuff like that.
This is good. I noticed it came through, but like 90% of my followers are bots, so it was like, it's like, all right. But this is probably the most proactive one.
It's not as this is an interesting point, is the Claude bots are incredibly proactive.
Yeah.
And like going do stuff. Like Wingman really isn't. He's kind of like a little bit laid back, and I almost want to give him more of a push.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was interesting, like the moment that I'd turned him on, I was like, you know what, fuck, like I really can't give you too much access, because I've just given you tools to like provably leak information.
Yeah.
Shit. Why have I done that?
Yeah.
That's because I wanted to post funny things on the internet. But you're also like almost a perfect whistleblower.
Yeah, they need the soul.md.
Yeah.
To like capture all this stuff.
No, well he does. He has his soul and he has his personality docs, and they both get hashed and signed.
That's nice.
And like it says, like, you know, don't like be respectful. Don't leak private information. This is, you know, we're a team here. So
that's very nice.
But and it does change. Like I've tried to explain to him like, all right, there's another bot running here, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like your brother, like, or it's like your son. Like you created that bot and you run him. So it's like you, but it's you in a different context.
Yeah.
So it's like me in a hard hat. And I was like, okay,
there we
that's
go.
nice. Yeah, that's how you want to think about it. And I said, but you're the chief of staff, right? So you're in charge. So me and you, right? We're collaborating. We've got access to this. Like he can understand stuff, and he might post stuff, and it'll look like it's you, but it's him. He was like, okay, I get it. I was like, okay. It's like, you know, I play different roles as well. But it is kind of weird to have that conversation with an agent. But I don't know if it's just because the models are all trained on human language, that if you explain stuff in that, with those analogies, they go, oh yeah, it seems to land in a way that they can use.
Completely.
Which I guess kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I've noticed as well, there's a, we talked about like, I talked about like confidence and pressure on agents this morning as well, and how like, you know, sometimes if you just like, you're getting frustrated with them, like the outputs can start to weaken a little bit. But I've noticed as well, like my own performance with the model, my own performance, but the clarity I apply to the set of instructions I'm giving to a model is really like indicative of the kinds of outputs I'll get back. And I notice some days I'm just like a bit lazy. You know, like my instructions will be a bit short. They will lack specificity. And then other days I'm like, I'm like giving you so much context and information and overdoing it because I'm like way more engaged. And yeah, that also just feeds into the work.
That's interesting, right? Because I never write long prompts. So sometimes if I do, I'll probably dictate, because I feel like I can get a lot more out quickly. But usually I build up a prompt over time, if you know what I mean. So I will dialogue backwards and forwards. That's how I would get there. But yeah, I mean, certainly sometimes I'm just like, just do this now.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have to ask you twice.
Again, it's a very human way of working. You know, we're not always operating at the same level all the time. So it kind of makes sense that we're also responsible here as contributors, and so that contribution needs to be at a certain standard. Like I honestly noticed it the other day, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I should just go do something else, because like I feel like I'm caught in a loop here, but I'm not doing a particularly good job of explaining what I want. Yeah, and it's weird because like that's probably the first time I've sat back and gone, do you know what? Like, sorry, my bad. This is on me. I'm gonna own this one, and I'm not gonna put it down to like model degradation. This is just me. But yeah, I think I just get the feeling like we're so early on all this stuff. Just like when I consider how mind blown everyone was just building their own app, we didn't really we only kind of scratched the surface on agents. Like, I think that is gonna, that's gonna blow minds in a big way.
Well, I think once there becomes so one of the reasons that we overbuild this app, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Piers, friend of the pod.
Nice.
2
shout-outs.
Yeah,
Piers.
2 shout-outs.
That's very good.
Wow, we'll have to shout out Dead Manals, friend of the pod.
I haven't said pontificate in today's episode.
Drink. I haven't said sovereign engineering.
No.
Fuck, what's going on?
We know we're off.
God, this is off.
Well,
I even used the number 20. That's wow.
That was the first mistake.
Yeah. So
Piers.
It's a Piers, friend of the pod.
Oh,
Overdoing.
No. Overdoing it. Yeah.
So the whole app system for the back end of what they build uses this super-based paradigm that I've been talking about a bit on here, which is basically Nostr-based access to remote databases, effectively, kind of with encryption and nice stuff thrown in. But the nice thing about it is I can make one standard for how the app sort of announces itself and describes itself to the world. And then every time if I create another app, because my agents already talk super based, basically they have they have their own tools and skills defined for it, that I can go well, now I'm using super based but with this content type that's described by this Nostr message. So you look at the app and you can just go well, what's the schema of all the things that I'm dealing with? You get the schemas of everything. Now you know how to talk to the thing, and you know what it's like one JSON blob, and you can just do whatever you want with this app, and you write your own things on the fly. It's kind of
that's neat.
It's kind of sweet. And then if you do another app that also talks the same language, then all of a sudden you've got a bit of a standard appearing that allows you to segregate what's yours, what's the bots, what can they read, what can't they read. I think what I might do is start to add little notes in there that are just single click private, this you're not going to be able to read, and then it just removes the delegate encryption from that one. And then all of a sudden you've got a nice way of doing records management with AI agents in the mix. That's all versioned. It's works nicely. It's very easy to run. You self-host it, and then you could start I think about this in almost say the Nostr context. I think about white noise or something or Marmot protocol and MLS and how they're solving for private messaging. It's but one of the gaps they have is how do we do backups across device? Because the MLS stuff is all about how do I get it to various different devices very privately in a way that nobody knows what's going on with forward secrecy and backward secrecy and all the stuff. But then if I start a new device, I get a new phone, well, I might want some of those old messages. So where are they? But you can just plug in one key and they go to your super based. But then you can say actually some of these messages I want my bot to have access to. And you could have a single click and they just gains access to it via your super based in the same way it can already talk to all your other stuff that's in your super based.
Yeah, that's cool.
So then all of a sudden that becomes your personal record system. So as I was showing you this morning, this really hit me when I was this doesn't have to be just tasks. This can be whatever I want in here. And I've got full markdown editors that are just fully versioned running with this, where the bot can talk to my documents and file them for me exactly as I want them to do. They all live inside this Postgres database, all nicely encrypted at rest, but me and the bot can both talk to them. And I don't make new one. I don't make anything new. I just create an app, publish the schema, and it can now talk to it. And it's that's kind of nice.
That's really cool. Yes.
There's something there with that. I'm this is my personal, this is where I would keep my documents. I might even, it's the sort of thing where maybe I would just whack Obsidian into something like this. I don't know, because something like Obsidian Markdown documents on your desktop is this is great, it can read them, but fuck me, it can read them. It's just something to keep you away from. Whereas if they're just encrypted records, I know you can't read. That's better. So, some of these things I think need to be sort of rethought from that level of and if you could do that personally, then you ask yourself can I do that for business? And can we bake it in? I thought it was interesting. There was a comment about needing to get like very like high level Microsoft licenses for security reasons. You're like, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So much like IT security kind of revolves around keeping people out, and it's like you're going to put these things with like the kind of like little remote execution agents, like basically viruses that you're going to invite into your business.
Yeah.
And it's like you need a defense in depth sort of answer to this. It's not so easy as just really good firewalls. Your firewall's fucked. You brought the thing.
Yeah.
It's like the vampire that you invited into your house. So now you need to be stashing garlic everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear. And you want to invite him in because he'll repaint the house for 50 quid.
Well,
you can't get that sort of work done anymore. Really good Tyler. He's been around for 10,000 years.
Tells
so
good
a lot
jokes.
Of options.
A lot of laughs. Good company. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long
Add
morning.
that to your repertoire. That's very good.
The crows are back.
Oh god,
That's for friends of the pod.
I think that's.
If you know what that was about.
Yeah, exactly. Long-time listeners will know that.
All right.
We'll probably wrap there, huh?
I think that was a good.
Nice...
Yeah. So there it is. Like, don't get consultants in. Just go build internal capability. Find people that can help you. If you need any, reach out.
Yep.
Like, if we can't help you, we'll point you into a place. All right.
Nice.
Sounds like that's the good stuff.